Welcome back, everyone! Today we are continuing the work we started with macho gelding Ricochet. His person is concerned with his propensity for biting and kicking, so my task is to help him understand that humans are friends and not punching bags. He hasn't been particularly aggressive, but is extremely defensive and head shy, nipping at hands that come into his space and even double barrel kicking a handful of times. He used to bow his neck up and pin his ears, but is definitely softening as training progresses. With horses like this, there are some precautions I take to stay safe that I will be detailing in this video. I wanted to get to the root of his problem instead of merely punishing the behavior. It became evident that Ricochet is simply defending his own space and resources, which stems from a fear that we may hurt him or run him off. So my simple solution is to make him feel safer and more confident when he is physically and mentally with me. He needs to find comfort when he is focused on me. If at any time he feels uncomfortable with what we are doing and needs to move his feet, I let him. But I make sure that pressure is either maintained or intensified when he is thinking away from me, and is immediately removed when he returns his attention back to me. This is how you train a horse to want to be with you, and therefore eliminate their need to get you out of their space, which in turn eliminates the biting. I'm going to start getting him comfortable with hands moving towards and around his face now. I'm looking for any indication that he is curious and drawn to my hand instead of afraid and defensive. I always have the lunge whip ready to increase pressure if he decides to leave me. Sometimes all he needs is a small movement to remind him that he doesn't want to do that, and he comes right back to me and will even follow me around. I follow the same principle if he tries a different tactic and attempts to move me out of his space. If small reminders are not enough, I can increase the pressure considerably by cracking the whip on the ground behind him and sending him forward until he decides to come into the center with me. I am not hitting him with the whip or attempting to hurt him in any way. I'm just ramping up pressure to make this very clear and easy for him to understand what I'm asking of him. I do not want him leaving or even thinking about leaving, and he needs to understand that leaving me will only make him uncomfortable. After a break to rest and relax, I return to test what he has learned. This is fantastic. He is learning his job well and is showing no indication that he wants me out of his space. I love to play the spinning game with the horses, as it shows me they are looking to me and waiting for my cues, and also encourages them to follow, which is useful for both liberty work and leading. Anytime the horse is not facing me, I ask them to yield their hindquarters. I test to see if this is enough for him to overcome his fear of hands near his face, and we do see some improvement here. He's afraid to be touched and shies away slightly, but is resisting the urge to turn away completely and stays facing me and attentive. Now that I know he's more comfortable in my space, I can ask him to participate in a rewarding experience that will also keep me safe if he decides to get defensive. The side of the pen with the unloading gate is fenced to prevent my dogs from entering the pen with the wild horse, and also keeps them safe from getting bitten or kicked through the fence. I can use this as what is termed protected contact in the animal training world. I learned this method from participating in an experience involving rhinos at Disney World's Animal Kingdom. The keepers asked the rhino to approach the fence and began offering him hay as incentive to stand calmly and allow people to touch him. This training is important so that keepers and veterinarians never have to enter the enclosure to care for dangerous animals, and the animals choose to participate and feel safe themselves. What I'm asking of Ricochet here is very similar. The fence between us keeps me safe from him and allows him the choice to either work with me or walk away. So it's considered protected contact. I'm using this to work through his biting issues without needing to punish him, scare him, or send him out of my space. I want to encourage connection while also eliminating a bad habit that would get him in trouble. So I reward him any time he tolerates me touching his face without nipping, or he reaches out to touch me. He will eventually learn that touching me will earn him an immediate food reward, and we can later shape this behavior into targeting. Since we are using positive reinforcement, I can remove my hand anytime I feel I should to avoid a bite, and he will not feel like he has won, as the reward does not happen until he stops biting and allows me to touch him. I don't reward the physical contact, but his mental reaction to it. Anytime he's thinking, "This is okay, I'll be nice," he earns the reward. As you can see, this exercise could have escalated in a very bad direction if not done utilizing protected contact. Many of you will remember the mistakes I made with my colt Chance, who was behaving in a very similar manner, which ultimately resulted in me receiving a serious injury. I do encourage anyone struggling with a horse like this to transition to working in protective contact. You must be able to motivate the horse to work with you, and it prevents the common mistake of chasing a horse in flight. It causes you to become focused on the behavior you are asking for, instead of becoming frustrated, angry, or scared of the dangerous behavior. In turn, the horse will pick up on your confidence and relaxation, and realize there's nothing to fear. They are empowered to do what they want to do, and are rewarded when they do what is right. Here Ricochet is beginning to choose the right answer. He will cautiously touch my hand and allow me to stroke his face without nipping. We both feel safe near each other. From here, we will continue this until he's very comfortable with me touching him, so that I know it will be safe to do so inside the pen with him. We are one step closer to getting a halter on, and many steps closer to earning this guy's trust. Thanks for watching, friends, and be sure to check out the next video.